I met someone earlier today and they asked me what I did for work. So I told them I'm a leadership and communication coach. And they looked at me with a smile and they said, "Oh, wow, that's really cool. I always wondered what that's like, but I'm not a people manager." And I think it's very interesting that we automatically equate leadership with people management, because I've known many people managers that are not leaders. And I've known many leaders that aren't necessarily people managers. Welcome to Coaching with Ricky. I'm Ricky. Let's talk about leadership versus management. In my eyes, leaders and managers are not the same thing, so we shouldn't use them interchangeably. When it comes to managers typically are ones that do resource planning and they think about how to optimize their team and get work done. And before everyone jumps on me and starts commenting saying, "That's not what managers are," I know there's much more that goes into people management. I've been doing it for many years. But what I'm saying is that just because you're a manager, that doesn't automatically mean you're a leader. And it doesn't mean you're an effective leader. So management usually is focused on more of the tangible things, like making sure there's operational efficiency on a team, making sure that we're thinking about resource planning and optimizing the number of headcount and things that we have to get the job done and to get work done and to keep the business going. It's a very important function in terms of what managers do. And without management, just like without people, businesses can easily crumble and businesses won't mean anything without the people behind it. Leadership is much more beyond that. Leadership is more of a mindset. It's more of a style, and it speaks to many different qualities. Some of the most important qualities that I coach my clients on and talk about when it comes to leadership are things like resilience or innovation or self-awareness and empathy. Those are qualities that leaders must have in order to be effective in doing their job and influencing and driving people forward and motivating them without having to tell them you have to do this by brute force. Because let's be real, nobody wants to be told what to do, especially in a work setting. So when I hear people equating managers to leaders, I disagree with that, because not all managers are leaders and not all leaders are managers. So for example, I've worked with a previous executive administrator who was phenomenal at their job. And they not only were able to drive and orchestrate so many different meetings and make sure that everything was kept on track, but they were also able to influence people, especially when they needed to say no to people, because they were the gatekeeper to the executive that they were working with. So when people wanted to come and get time on the calendar and things like that, this EA was very, very strong in having a empathetic perspective and making sure that whoever was approaching them felt heard and understood. And at the same time, they were assertive and firm when they needed to by saying, "We can't give you the time that you need," or "There just isn't time this week. You're going to have to wait until next week." And even though this executive admin didn't have any direct reports, which means they weren't a people manager, they were very, very effective at leading people and influencing people. So that's an example of where you can be a leader without having to necessarily be managing people actively. Another great example of leadership is someone who used to be on my team, and I hired them on board and coached them along the way. I hired this person on board and I saw potential in them, so I was excited to see what they could do. Luckily, my intuition was right, and this person turned out to be a key person on our team that helped us grow and helped us really work through a lot of tough situations. And this person particularly, even though they weren't a people manager, they exhibited behaviors of a strong leader. One particular example that I still remember to this day is this person actually costed us a big mistake. It was during year end and stress levels were super high. So everyone was a little bit shorter on their patience and everyone was a little burnt out, and they just wanted to get the job done so that they could spend time with their family for the holidays. So this person on my team owned a certain part of our business, and what they had to do was they had to make sure the financials were correct. Because there was so much going on, this person on my team made a mistake and they submitted their work and nobody knew about it until the following week. So the following week, when everything was submitted and finalized, we were reviewing it, this mistake was caught by themselves. So they were going through just doing a final check of everything and they realized that they had made a mistake. And this mistake had a financial impact of $1 million for the company, which is pretty significant. So what this person did was they immediately notified me and the other leaders on the team to tell us about this mistake so that we could rectify it and we could correct it before it continued to move up the approval chain. And beyond that, what this person did was they learned from their mistake and they identified what exactly happened in the process of them doing their work and why it was missed. And they created a new process to make sure that this would be avoided going forward. Nowhere along the way did this person indicate any kind of excuse making, and they didn't say anything like, well, I was super busy, I was stressed, even though that was true because everyone was. But this person showed integrity and showed character, and they took full accountability without their ego, and they put their pride aside and they accepted the consequence of what happened, which was a big mistake, and it was highly visible. So a lot of people were talking about this mistake, and this person took it with grace and they took full ownership of it, and also then created this learning so that other people on the team could also see and learn from their mistake and say, ooh, I don't want to do that going forward. That's something we should be aware of. Now, that was a long time ago, and this person has actually moved on and they've become very successful in their career as well. But this is just an indication of the fact that leadership isn't just about your title. It's not about what role you hold or anything like that, or how much money you make. It's about your character. It's about your mindset and how you think and how you approach and problem solve when issues come up. So if you're wanting to become a leader or become a people manager in your own career, it's not just about reaching that title. It's about shifting your mindset and challenging yourself to think more like a leader. Because the more you think like a leader, which includes qualities that I was mentioning around influencing people, problem solving, thinking about the bigger picture and how your actions can impact other people or help other people. Those are all leadership mindsets that can really, really help set you up for that promotion or for that title if that's what you're looking for. But before you even get that promotion, these are signs that other leaders look for when they look for people to promote. They don't look for people that just do a great work and are able to bust long hours and go through the grind. Because frankly, robots can do that. And in the future, a lot of things will be automated anyway. Because what leaders actually look for when they're trying to fill those leadership positions on their teams are these exact qualities around judgment and influence and problem solving and strategic thinking. It's not about the actual hard tactical work that needs to be done, because that's the automatic assumption, is that if you are an effective leader, those are assumed to have to be done. Those are table stakes. So what will really separate you from other candidates and other people who are also wanting to fill those leadership positions is your unique ability to think strategically and your unique ability to problem solve when issues come up. That's why during a lot of interviews, as you move up into manager positions and beyond, the questions are less about show me how you can build a model or show me how you put together this presentation deck. It's more about hypothetical situations, and it's more about tell me about a time when, or what would you do if. Those are all trying to tap into your mind and understand how you think and how you process information. And ultimately that gives them a glimpse of what kind of leader and what kind of style you have as a leader. If you liked this video and you want to hear more about leadership and communication, please make sure you subscribe, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again. Take care.